Hello. Today I want to talk about some news and progress in what I've been doing as of August 2023. First, I've just recently this week started working on a free update for Highway Wars. So what is Highway Wars? Well, it was the second game that I ever released on my own as an author. And this was years ago already. It's over 200,000 words. It's a game that is heavily influenced by Mad Max. Some people have also likened it to Fallout. The original starting point for me was the freeway fighter fighting fantasy novel that was written by Ian Livingstone. So as a kid, I read this many times, and I thought it was an absolutely great book. I spent so much time exploring this dystopian future, ravaged landscapes, where you get to drive a car through highways, and of course I really like Mad Max. I'm a big fan, so I set out to create something that would try to reproduce this sort of world, desertic landscape, fights between cars, etc. So I'm really fond of this game, but I haven't updated it for a while, so I thought, okay, this is a really good opportunity now to update it. And part of the reason is I'm quite slightly unhappy with some of the decisions I made as a writer. So when you start the game, you choose your crew if you want. So you have a navigator and you have a gunner. So the gunner is the guy who sits at the turret firing at other cars. But I was a bit unhappy with, I sort of programmed the death of the gunner. When you travel through the game, you can actually take different roads. But no matter what you do at the moment, the gunner will die in one situation or a different situation, independent of what route you take through the game. So actually, in this new update, I want to change that. I want to make it so that that there is a way for the gunner to survive. So this person that you spent a lot of time choosing will actually then continue to accompany you throughout the game. I mean, so far you could only have the navigator accompany you through the entire game. And I also want to further develop the character of these navigators. So currently I think there are about 8 different navigators you can choose from. And I'm not sure I will do all of them, but at least I want to do some of the more popular navigators. I want to give them more personality. I want to let the players talk to them, find out who they are, what their life is like, etc. So I'm going to code some conversations that can happen with the navigator while you are driving through through the game, if you want, through different roads in the game. The progress in the update, well, I just started now. I think I've only got about 1,000 words written, but I've actually sort of cleared in my head what exactly is that, how it all fits, all these changes will fit structurally into the game. I think the final update will be about 20,000 extra words. And as I said, hopefully this will make it a much better game, especially through the sort of early and mid game. The end of the game, as many of my games, branches significantly, so you can do many different things. You can become a conqueror, try to conquer all these regions, so you can just fade into the horizon or save one of the free cities that is being attacked, etc. But that probably won't change so much. Anyway, I'm hoping to do this in the next couple of weeks. If I manage to make some good progress and write 1,000, 2,000 words a day, and then I want to submit to Choice of Games in early September after, a brief playtesting. So maybe the playtesting for this won't be very long because, as I said, what's happening, the changes to the games are fairly limited if you want. Although, they should make it a lot of a big game. Then in September, I want to start working on a DLC for Tokyo Wizard, and this is the first game that I ever released as a writer, or my first solo game if you want. I'm thinking of calling it Life as a Lich. This is one of my favorite endings. You can actually, go into an underground layer and live your life as an undead wizard if you want. And this is one of the end paths in the game. Of course, it doesn't really need anything else, but I have an idea of what I want this to be. And actually, I've realized that this can help me also in writing hero or villain Armageddon. And I'm thinking that it could be that Tokyo Wizard and hero and villain Armageddon actually take place in the same world. So this is something I've been toying with in my head, and how there could be a point at which these two games actually meet. I'm also toying with the idea of what it would be like to find romance as a lich. So I've got some ideas of some things I might want to implement. But anyway, it could be also that it's not only the lich ending that gets an extended life, but maybe some of the other endings in the game will also be extended. So I'm still thinking about this at the moment. Then what? Then I want to go back to Armageddon. I think this will push the game probably to a 2024 release. Of course, the game is quite advanced, but still it needs a lot of work. So I don't think, maybe if I manage to finish this in 2023, this will mean that it might get released in 2024. So I also want to continue working on Dragon Chronicles. This is a brilliant game, but not by myself, but by JSIC, who's one of my favorite authors in the sort of hosted games world. So she did Saga of Oedipus Rex, which is brilliant, I think, and Wizardry Level C. So I've collaborated with her on other games like Starship Adventures, which is a free game to play. So if any of you haven't played it, please go and give it a go. But anyway, Dragon Chronicles, the first time I played it on the forums, it blew my mind. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant game that just needed a little bit of work. So JSIC has agreed to let me work a bit on it, so I really want to go back to it. I'm dying to go back and actually contribute more to this game. I've also got a couple of other semi-stalled works in progress with the Genesis, maybe 30-40% finished, and the Nebula, my first ever game. I've already kind of adapted it to choice script, but yeah, I seem to always run out of steam when I go back to it. But it probably at some point I should go back to it and finish it. I'm getting many questions about when will Hero or Villain Supercharged released. So this is the name of the DLC now, the official name, Hero or Villain Supercharged. I still don't know. Choice of Games has submitted it to Steam. I know this because there was a problems with some of the artwork, so the logo that you see here, I had to actually change the position and make it bigger for some of the images for Steam. So I know it's been submitted, so they are working on it. But after, it all depends on their own release schedule. So there are other games that they have to release, and then it will be a question of when does it fit in the schedule of releases. And of course, it depends on Steam, and it depends on Apple Store and many other things like this. So anyway, in correspondence with Choice of Games a few weeks ago, they said before November, but it could be a lot earlier. It could be, who knows, it could be October. But anyway, it should be sort of like in the near future. And yeah, I'm also making, as I said before, I'm also making this new Meeple throwing card game. So it's at the moment the pre-launch Kickstarter page is online. If you want to follow when this happens, please follow it, and here you can see the link. Of course, at the moment, I'm still playtesting this game with friends and other colleagues in our board game design group that I'm part of. Of course, this is, make some progress on this every now and again, but at the moment I'm a bit more focused on my writing. So that's why this is proceeding a bit more slowly than I would like, but I will probably turn my attention to it soon again. And that's it for today. If you would like to obviously subscribe and be notified when I make more videos. I will be trying to, as soon as I know more about when the DLC will come out, I will try to notify everybody. So please also subscribe on Facebook or on my Kohi account to get more news about this. So thank you so much.